Hello, everyone. The full moon on May 16th is arriving with a lunar eclipse in tow, meaning fate is about to take the wheel. Here's what this means for your sign. It's eclipse season. We had a solar eclipse 2 weeks earlier, and now on the 16th of May, full moon is bringing not only a lunar eclipse but an enormous amount of Scorpion energy too, because the full moon is occurring in the sign of Scorpio. Now, this full moon is also known as the blood moon. And you could say that the sting in the tail of this lunation is that it takes to the sky only days after Mercury has turned retrograde, and Mercury turned retrograde last 11th of May. Introspection, if done, many of you would realize and would have experienced personal revelations or breakthroughs. Some of you would have also experienced dramatic changes in your personal life as the relationships undergo modifications, adjustments, or experience dramatic exits or entrances. And this has actually happened or been happening with you all from November 2021. This week's potent lunar eclipse could connect to events that came to light at the end of last year, and the decisive conclusions to them are likely to reveal themselves or manifest now in this week during this eclipse. As this cosmic headline making event takes place in the sign of Scorpio, it's going to be, in one word, very intense. Scorpio is a water sign that derives its strength from the psychic, emotional realm. Be prepared to dig deep as fate may throw us some curveballs that require us to tap into our inner power reserves. On this coming Monday, May 16th, the moon and the sun will align to initiate a total lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse occurs when the earth moves perfectly in alignment between the sun and the moon. This Scorpion full moon is very potent, supercharged, superpowered, and super emotional lunation. As mentioned during last month's solar eclipse, eclipses meant that fate has taken control of our cosmic steering wheel. And while a lunar eclipse is more likely to signal an ending as opposed to a beginning, remember that as eclipses are merely giving you a celestial nudge towards your destiny, albeit at an accelerated pace. Sometimes the surrender is necessary, even if we don't think we are not ready to let go. It's important to understand the configuration of the planets as the Venus, the co-ruler of this lunation, makes a very nurturing connection with the Chiron, the asteroid of the wounded healer, and Mars contacts Neptune in compassionate Pisces. Now, Saturn is squaring the lunar nodes of fate during this eclipse, signaling that this is a celestial crossroad that we are walking across, and there may be a sense of not being able to turn back to the way things were. We must move forward with what we now know to be true. We may be required to make difficult decisions. The signs of Scorpio and Taurus are calling on us to cast aside our fears, anxieties, and doubts and trust ourselves to choose the simplest path forward. And the rulers of this eclipse, that is Venus and Mars, are here to remind us that there is help, healing, and a shared spirit of empathy available to us if we reach out to those who love us or whom we love. Here's how the full moon of May 16th, 2022 will affect you depending on your star sign. For the most accurate reading, look at your sun or the rising sign according to your astrological natal chart. And you also need to be aware which house does Scorpio in your natal chart affects, which sign or which house does Scorpio occupy. Now, for the zodiac predictions in its regular forum for the Aries, this lunar eclipse takes place in your eighth house of spiritual, financial, and sexual mergers. You are at a very critical juncture, so read your contracts carefully before signing on the dotted line. You need to be decisive as the universe being propels you into ending relationships that are not on solid or fertile ground. This is a time to release and let go of situations or people who have not been able to stand by you. You can either forgive them or yourself and commit to being indifferent towards them. This is the time to release angst and put a closure, gaining closure to situations or people who have hurt you in the past. The positive aspect to this is that you can clear space for partnerships that are more aligned with your actual needs and desires. For Taurus, for you, this lunar eclipse is lighting up your seventh house of partnerships and commitments. If a relationship or a dynamic within that relationship has hurt you again and again, then now is the time to take a firm stand. Since you cannot change the attitude of the partner, then do not allow history to repeat itself. Just take the bold step and move on. The lunar eclipse is signaling for you to conserve your energies, fall in love with yourself, and do not allow yourself to be drained or stressed out. Saturn, in a square to the sensitive point, is asking you to take stock of your commitments to other people and to yourself. And before doing it for other people, do it for yourself first. This is a wake up call to see who is willing to put in the work to allow this partnership to flourish. Release what isn't working without fear or judgment. For Geminis, now is the time to release and rework your daily routine. If things are no longer aligned with your wants, goals, dreams, and desires, then this lunar eclipse is activating your sixth house of health and habits. It's like a cosmic personification. Fates, it's the fate's way of redirecting your time and energy to stop exerting your energies on that which doesn't serve you. It's fate's way of telling you that and nudging you to take a different stance. Instead, prioritize what actually matters to you. Don't worry or fear. You will be able to make up for the lost time. Change your direction and your strategies. This is a cosmic rebalancing in order to get you more aligned spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. For the Cancer, the cosmic urges you to look into your serious demeanor and question yourself if you're having enough fun in life. Do you allow yourself to experience true happiness? You need to awaken the child within you and be able to throw yourself into something with unbridled passion. Do what you need to do or want to. Become selfish for a change. Don't prioritize someone else's wants. This lunar eclipse in your fifth house of pleasure is asking you to think about your personal ability to have experience, feel, and create joy in your life without fear or shame. It's time to let go of habits, vices, or blocks that prevent you from showing up to receive the real pleasures. You could start a love affair with someone who inspires passion or release one that is blocking you from experiencing true passion. For Leo, there are deep changes occurring in the most private part of your chart as this intense lunar eclipse lights up your fourth house of home and family. As used to be this, you are so used to be the center of attention and living life king size that this lunation is asking you to turn your attention inward and look closer to home. Identify with your family pattern and identify with it, especially if it is no longer serving you. And now you have to decide what steps you need to take to heal it. You may discover that some wounds you have are part of an inherited ancestral lineage, and you are the one destined to finally break the karmic cycle here and now. Look for shifts occurring within your family structure and how the members of your family relate to each other. Resolve issues and extend olive branches. Accept your faults and try reuniting with your loved ones. Virgo, get ready for the floodgates of emotions to open. as this lunar eclipse in your third house of communications has you ready to reveal a long buried secret. The energy for you is one of a mental and emotional release, as you are called to tell the truth about something you've been keeping to yourself. Don't underestimate how momentous a moment this is for you. While you're a sign that notices everything literally, you're not always as keen to share how you feel about it. But for all the inventory you've taken, all the clues that you've gathered, all the insights that you have come to light, and the conclusions you've drawn, it's time to take action now. Ignoring them won't make them disappear. Gathering more facts is no longer necessary. You've had your realization. Learn to speak your truth. If you respect others, then now is the time to also stand up for them. If that feels scary, remind yourself how liberated you'll feel. Libra. With Scorpio ruling your second house of money, Libras have a natural talent for securing resources. So, for you, Libra, this lunar eclipse is activating your relationship with the concept of financial security, power, and control. It may be time to keep a closer eye on who, what, and where you're investing your time, energy, and resources. You could be exploring your career and questioning if the money you make at your job is with your purity of intent. Is it worth the stress and personal sacrifices that you make to keep it? Budget your extravagance, as you may fall a victim to making money in the wrong way. The cosmos wants you to transform. Do not exploit people for your benefit. Something may be blocking you from having a more profound sense of security. Once you've discovered the root of this feeling, it's time to let go of any kind of scarcity mindset that is holding you back. Scorpio. If last month's solar eclipse wasn't asking you to take stock of your current relationship, then this month's lunar eclipse in your first house of personality is asking you to keep the focus on your ego. You've undergone some huge transformations, particularly since the end of last year. With all the hard fought lessons you've learned along the way, think of this time as a chance to let the new you emerge. Be prepared for major shifts in life as people get to know the transformation that you've done for yourself and the spiritual makeover you just undertook. Your relationships are poised for a big change. People who are no longer aligned with the new version of you may no longer fit with you, but others who are can now join you on this journey. And that's the most exciting part of this new chapter in your life. Embrace it as you experience the new awakenings, not only within yourself, but also around you. Sagittarius, learn to listen to your body. That's the cosmic calling during this intense lunar eclipse happening in your 12th house of subconscious. This lunation is activating your intuition in all ways, and you should be accepting as you become aware of your dark shadow, however uncomfortable the truth may be. Do not sit harsh on your own judgment. Instead, use this opportunity of awareness and transform into the being you want to be. Practice self care and self compassion. It's more than okay to forgive yourself for the path you took to get to this moment. Use this time to relax and meditate and decide how you'll release those lingering fears, doubt, regret, or anxieties about the future. You are a mutable fire sign. You were born to adapt. So, this eclipse is reminding you of that. And adaptability is the key word. Capricorn, one of the most effective ways to realize who has your back is not noticing who shows up when you're in need. It's realizing who's genuinely cheering for you when you're on top. You had some harsh truth come to light about people you may have considered friends, but who, like the saying goes, did not cheer when you were winning. While we've all seen our social circles shrink during this pandemic, lockdowns, and social distancing, you may be feeling the urge to reconnect. This lunation is inviting you to leave the past behind and only align with people who love you unconditionally and are undemanding, who can uplift, inspire, and align with you. Do not get back to old patterns of pleasing people, or else you're inviting yourself to be shocked beyond your imagination. Do not allow history to repeat itself, for then you can blame nobody. With Scorpio ruling your 11th house of friendships, groups, and networks, it means you're deeply loyal and committed to those you call friends. And now it's time to make sure you're getting the same energy back. You do not have to fear anything. Aquarius, with eclipses taking place in your 10th house of fame and career, you are going through a massive shift in your personal life and your professional life too. You are at critical crossroads and you need to indulge in your passions and ambitions at the same time. Learn to balance your personal and professional life. Whatever your specific circumstance, remember that fate is urging and persuading you to shine in the professional sector of your life. Whatever changes are brought up at this time are designed to help you create the legacy you've always been destined to have. And your work is a part of that. Even though it's not the most comfortable for you as an Aquarius, it's time to enjoy your moment in the spotlight and don't fear shining through everything in your life. Pisces. Well, for you, this lunar eclipse is activating your ninth house of spiritual beliefs, and you are being called to be an advocate for your most firmly held convictions. You're a naturally kind, empathetic, and compassionate sign, but with Scorpio ruling this house, when you believe something, you are staunchly passionate about it. There are chances that your means of expressing your beliefs have gotten in the way of your personal relationships. Do not compromise or try to be overly nice. Neither be rigid or dogmatic in your views. Adaptability is the key word for you, and respect people for their virtues. Accept the fact that your way may not always be the right way. Think about this eclipse as a way of holding space for your truth and giving you the opportunity to say what you think without sitting judgment. You are being pushed to get involved and raise awareness of a cause greater than just yourself. And that means having people by your side with you in this fight. You need them just as much as they need your voice. So, till my next planetary configuration, stay blessed and don't forget to adhere what is meant for you so that your life may be transformed very, very profoundly.